So this is from Wissal Ku. During sitting meditation, I listen to your guided mindfulness meditation on audio and on YouTube. And during this time, in order to keep a proper posture, I find my back feels uncomfortable and I can't focus on mindfulness anymore. So sitting comfortably means I'm slightly slouched and not sitting in a mountain-like dignified posture, as you often mention. So what does one do in this situation?
I would suggest that you actually sit in an erect and dignified posture and don't try to have any kind of experience at all, and just experience how the body doesn't like that. And then see if your awareness can hold that the body doesn't like that. It feels uncomfortable. I'm much better when I slouch.
Yeah.
But if you are really willing to engage in this as a long-term experiment, I think you'll find that in time, you won't be trying to get anywhere else. You'll sort of more or less become um, cognizant of the fact that the curriculum is what's appearing now. So the discomfort in your body can become your greatest teacher. That said, you could do this lying down or standing on your head. So it's not that the physical posture itself is important, but there's something about maybe when you slouch, you feel more comfortable and then you can have a better meditation. But I would question what that better meditation actually means.
Yeah.
So sometimes we can think that, oh, meditation's about a particular kind of good outcome or good feeling or less thinking or whatever, but it's not. So in a sense, creating the right conditions to put the welcome mat out for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and not prefer one or privilege one over the other,
Yeah.
that allows us to understand something about the non-dual nature of reality that's not like, oh, meditation is supposed to make us feel more relaxed or more comfortable or less stressed or anything like that, which are all potential byproducts of it. But we're really, what mindfulness meditation is about is clear seeing and wisdom, and not some good feeling that comes over us. That may or may not happen, but that would be sort of attached to the good feeling if it happens. And then you want to, every time you take your seat, you want to have the good feeling, or you'll say, I didn't have a good
Sure.
meditation. There's no such thing as a bad meditation as long as you're there for it,
Yeah.
as long as you put the welcome mat out for whatever arises in awareness. And that could include serious discomfort in the body, agitation, or anything else. And you can investigate and ask, is my mind, is my awareness of my agitation or my discomfort agitated or uncomfortable? And by investigating that, you soon discover that you're much bigger than the narratives that we usually tell ourselves about what would be good for us to have the best meditative experience.
A question from Piraten Capitan. I would like to ask John about the importance of metta practice combined with mindfulness. What's John's opinion? Metta practice is crucial for well-being in these days.
Yes, well, for those who aren't familiar with what the word metta is or means, it's often translated as loving kindness, but it also has the quality of friendliness. So it's a particular meditation practice that's actually very often stylized or framed within the context of various phrases that one would say to oneself. Like, for instance, you establish yourself in a sitting posture and you just sort of drop into stillness, and then you might offer to yourself this thought. And it is a thought because it's strung out in words. May I be safe and free from inner and outer harm. And then you can include other people in it too. So may all beings be safe and free from inner and outer harm. And then you can go on other kind of aspects of uh, less stress, greater well-being, um, live with ease. I mean, so these are things that you can introduce into the metta practice. My colleague and friend Biko Analio actually speaks about metta practice within early Buddhism as not being limited to those kinds of stylized ways of you start with yourself and then you include loved ones and then you include a neutral person and then you include people that you might be having problems with and then you might include like people that you're having serious problems with if you want to be an advanced metta practitioner. But actually, that metta can be from the very beginning, like radiant in all directions and not particularized to anybody. Like, and uh, just a kind of radiant intention that all beings be free from suffering. So now, what's the difference between that and mindfulness? In my view, none at a fundamental level. That when we take our seat in meditation practice, say talking formal meditation practice, just taking your seat, I've come to experience and feel over the years is a radical act of sanity and a radical act of love to just stop and drop into the present moment and kind of reboot or recalibrate your own system in relationship to the world. That's a radical act. I mean, stopping itself is a radical act,
Mm-hmm.
especially for Americans. I mean, we're like always on the go, you know, driving through
Mm-hmm.
to get to some better moment. But what if there is no better moment,
Mm.
that this is it? Then to actually engage in formal meditation practice is, as I said, an act of love. And not self-love, not narcissistic love, but kind of, if I can be, even for one moment, calm, centered, clear, then I am, because of interconnectedness, in some sense, having an effect in my neighborhood, my family, on my own mind,
Mm-hmm.
you know, that neighborhood, and so forth. And so ultimately, there are different doors into the same room. But metta practice can also be used and is used to develop very high degrees of concentration and jhana practice. And so there are different kind of instrumental uses for metta in the same way as there are instrumental uses for mindfulness practice when you're doing it kind of in a dualistic way of trying to get someplace else.
Yeah.
But the real meditation practice is actually non-instrumental. As it says in the Heart Sutra, there's no place to go, nothing to do, and nothing to attain. So when we let go of any kind of striving or goal attainment or anything like that, then what you're looking for is already here. Maybe, and who's looking anyway? Maybe what you're looking for is who is looking. Who am I? What am I in this moment? Which is a very profound meditation pathway in itself. To just ask that question and not, and then leave a lot of space where you don't fill it up with answers. And not knowing might be the best answer of all. Don't know. But that's not the end of anything. That's in some sense the beginning.